Welcome back to the Chess4Life Spotlight. I'm your host, Elliott Neff, National Master and founder of Chess4Life, and I'm super excited to have with me today Florian Helff. He is a software development engineer at Twitch, formerly the same at Amazon Web Services, and on the chess side. He's president for over 5 years of Chess at Amazon, organizing global chess events within the Amazon community. He's the director for corporate and collegiate chess with the Washington Chess Federation, and has a rich history of chess in his home country of Germany, college chess in the US, and many exciting developments along the way. So excited to have you today, Florian. Welcome to the Chess4Life Spotlight.
Thanks, Elliott.
Yeah, so thank you. And let's jump first to let our audience get to know you a little bit better. Can you share a little bit further of, some of your background, your journey, and what you are focused on at this stage in your life?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Florian, as Elliott mentioned. I'm currently based in Seattle, working for Twitch. And yeah, being a software developer, being right on the product at Twitch is very nice. Being tight in with the communities. But I mean, obviously, talking about our chess side as well, as Elliott mentioned, focusing on basically the corporate and collegiate chess in general. And kind of making sure that those communities are very well connected, because I think both communities can very much benefit from each other. And yeah, there's so much that both communities can give to each other, making connections, networking. I mean, when it comes to it, recruiting as well, chess players are usually great in problem solving, and that's a really good trait to have when it comes to the corporate world as well. So yeah, that's my number one priority right now, and I'm focusing on that a lot.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Florian. And I'm excited to dive deeper, of course, into the conversation of chess and coding and the integration and the benefits of those. Before we do that, do you mind sharing a little personal, hey, what's your favorite hobby or sport, whether it's chess or not, or something else? And if you don't mind adding to that, just in general, what's a bucket list item that you are excited to accomplish at some point in your life?
Ooh, bucket list item. Let's get first into hobbies. So I'm a big sports fan as well. I am watching soccer, being German as well. I'm watching my German soccer league. I have my favorite hometown team as well. Time difference makes it kind of rough to watch those games, because they usually happen at 6:30 in the morning, Seattle time. If they don't have an evening game. So that's kind of rough, but I guess my daughter keeps me awake at those hours anyway. So not the biggest.
And congrats on being a new parent too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I definitely like soccer. I'm watching American football as well when the season is. Especially in the fall, it's great. You can start with German soccer in the morning and move over to American football or American soccer, big Saunders fan as well for US soccer here. So yeah, great. Lots of sports activities. For creative hobbies as well, I do a lot of woodworking to just get some creative energy out as well. Because as a computer developer, or software developer, you're at a desk job basically. So having some creativity, outlet is definitely important to me.
That's awesome.
And then obviously chess. Chess is a big part of my life as well. Organizing a lot of chess, less playing nowadays, but a lot of organization, organizing tournaments, helping communities. So yeah, different areas, have different outlets for all the different directions.
That's awesome. So to the bucket list item, and then we'll move into our chess conversation.
Bucket list, yeah. I guess a big dream is actually coming true rather sooner than later. I went through a lot of college chess myself as well. I went to the University of Oklahoma, did my master's there. And when I was there, I founded the university club there as well for chess. And we collected funds for over 2 years to participate in Pan Ams back in 2015, 2016. It was in New Orleans. It was a 14-hour drive from Oklahoma. So we all got in a car because we barely had funds. And my bucket list item since then was basically organizing Pan Ams to make it easier for college students to attend. So yeah, guess that's a little spoiler alert, but in 2023, so like January 2023, in like 4 months, we will be hosting the Pan Ams actually in Seattle, with awesome sponsors, awesome like updates to Pan Ams as well, that I hope will make it easier for college students to attend and make it worthwhile as well at the same time.
Well, that's awesome. So you've got a bucket list item coming true in just 4 months from now. And what a good segue into the chess and college and education and those pieces. So let's talk about that. In fact, let's just start with the college chess, because we collaborated on a small project some years ago now, basically saying, you know, there's this sense that chess players are generally good in the STEM fields, right? Computer science, programming, like you alluded to earlier, the skills of problem solving are transferable skills from chess to a career. So can you talk about that? You know, we did this project correlating data from the Pan Am college chess championships and showed an extremely high percentage of the majors in the Pan Am Collegiate Chess Championships are also going into these STEM careers, particularly, you know, software, IT, and similar. Can you talk about that and the parallels between those, and perhaps even dive into how do you see the skills you built playing chess, enjoying it, growing up with it, transferring into your roles today at Twitch?
Yeah, so for me, chess is a vehicle for learning skills and for take me further. Like, not necessarily in the game of chess. Like, I mean, the percentage of players who make a living out of playing chess is relatively small. And the vast majority of players who are playing chess are playing it for fun, or playing, or maybe even playing it to get something else out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at chess as like or at chess communities as a pipeline, in terms of like, where can chess take you? Like, you're going through all of the scholastic chess activities. Maybe you play at an elementary school that has like a good relationship with a middle school or a high school, where they have a really good team as well. Maybe you get to connect with them during scholastic nationals or something. And then this pipeline right now breaks, really. Because there's not a good transition right now between a high school chess team and the collegiate world. So you basically get to college and you're like starting new. Like, do you have any relationships with chess clubs on premise? Maybe you find a chess club, then you go to college, you go through 3 years, you attend maybe a Pan Ams if the university funds it, and then you hit another break, where you're basically like, okay, now you graduated, you go into the corporate world, and like going on LinkedIn, emailing random people of like, hey, can you endorse me for this skill, or can you like refer me on this position? And in my opinion, like, this is something where chess can really help you, where maybe you play in a corporate versus collegiate event, where maybe you already played against someone of the company you're trying to get to in the future, or you have somebody who is playing chess in a similar field. Like, if you are a computer scientist, maybe you know a chess player who is a software developer, who can then, over the game of chess, can basically help you advance in like a corporate field as well. Of like, maybe this is mentoring, maybe this is somewhere referring, maybe this is like a resume look over, making sure that nothing is like bad on there. And this, I think, is where chess puts me in, or what I see in chess, what is happening. And this whole system works because you will have similar people in the corporate side than on the collegiate side. Like, from the data we got as well from the study, we know like 70–80% are in STEM and business fields, which is pretty much the equivalent of what I'm seeing on the corporate side. Like, as you mentioned, like, I'm leading the Amazon Chess Club. Amazon Chess Club by now is the largest corporate chess club worldwide. Like, we have over like 1,300 members. And the demographics are the same. Like, most of the people are in STEM or business fields, meaning like you are computer scientists, you are data analysts, you are product managers. It's very much the same direction. I think amazing story we had from the last corporate versus collegiate rivalry event. I was able to connect Roofing Lee, who is studying finance in Texas, with a director of finance at a company in Austin. So they were able to just get to match together. Like, I mean, he's a good player, but not Roofing Lee level. But they were able to connect because they have a similar major, they have a similar background, they're both playing chess. And I think those are the stories that will help people or like students going forward. And at the same time, like recruiting is hard. Like Amazon spends so much money as well on like finding the next talent, like going to another headquarter just to like find a new talent pool. And the people, like the students are right there, like they're looking for those connections. And if you have a pool of concentrated people who are good in problem solving, like it's the ideal place to tap in.
That's cool. Yeah. That's awesome for you. And so basically what I'm hearing you say is, you know, there's some fairly well-known benefits of the game of chess itself, right? We all know chess is problem solving. We know it's thinking ahead. We know it's planning, strategizing, calculating, all these skills that you would need to apply if you're going to be an engineer, a software developer, and so on. So those are like direct correlations. And then you're mentioning that the additional benefits is even you have now this common ground. Like, hey, you connect through chess, you connect through that culture, you get introduced, maybe there comes an internship. And as we know, in many cases, knowing the right person helps a lot when it comes to getting doors open. So it's fascinating, you know, as we talk about this, we did a little bit of that work for 2 Pan Ams, drawing that data, that correlation, which led to an unsurprising outcome of, you know, 70, 80% of those students participating in Pan Ams are majoring in these STEM careers. Now, the outcome that we were seeing happen, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, is has it led to STEM companies, tech companies, Amazon, where you were working, now you're at Twitch and others, having a more willingness to sponsor and go to those pools of chess players because there's such a direct correlation to where they're trying to hire? You mentioned how much they spend on recruiting. So are you seeing that start to happen now?
I think we're at the beginning of it. Like for the panels we have coming up as well, like we will have a mentorship program awesome. Where corporate chess players basically go into, and everybody who is participating in the collegiate field will be able to get a corporate mentor that way.
Wow. Oh, let's dive into that a second further, if you don't mind. So what you're saying is any student attending the Pan Am Collegiate Championships this coming January, hosted in Seattle with Amazon, Twitch, and other major sponsors, every student who's on one of those college teams is going to get an opportunity to have an internship at one of these amazing companies. Is that what I'm hearing?
A mentorship.
Mentorship. Apologies.
So, yeah, this is a corporate member who plays in chess, like Amazon Chess Club, all the other corporate chess clubs that we have.
Yep.
And they will be able to basically sign up for this mentorship, where then they will be assigned someone who will help them with anything they need, basically with resume help, with finding the right like steps on how to proceed into the career and what to focus on maybe during their college career if they don't go immediately. So this is like a program we started. We will start with this Pan Am. In addition to the Pan Am, we will have a corporate Pan Am at the same time. And we will have a networking mixer as well, where we put basically college players and corporate players into the same room. You have the same common background of playing chess. You will have a common, as we said, like we know the data on this, like a common major or job interest as well. So making connections there is going to be like pretty easy to make.
Well, that's incredible, actually, right? Because if you've got college students who are getting close to, let's say, graduating college and eager to figure out their career path and which company they're going to perhaps start with, now literally it may have a pick of some companies, is what I'm hearing, right? Yeah. Hey, I'm interested in Twitch, I'm interested in Amazon, I'm interested in some of these others, and they can literally find someone there who has the common ground of chess,
Yep.
and that person has the experience to mentor them. But that's incredible.
Yeah,
That
like
value.
all like Panams this year has a focus of like where can chess basically get you. The slogan for this Panams is like your next move.
Nice.
So like it's all focused on what can you do with chess. There are going to be some super GMs who will make a living out of chess, and it's less interesting for them. The vast majority of players who we are wanting to focus on for this year's Panam is likely going to benefit from the additional programming we're going to put out. We're going to put out Chess.com is going to put a workshop on how to be a chess streamer, how to join their streamer program. We will have a resume workshop that is led by Twitch. There's lots of side programming that we think is going to be very interesting for those college students and make it worthwhile to attend Panams.
That's awesome. So you're basically connecting college to career here.
Yeah. So there's another benefit. We work with Red Bull, who's a major sponsor of the event. For this year, we're changing Panams to not only have one open section, but we have an under 1800 section. Participation in that section is going to be free, sponsored by Red Bull. So there's no entry fee whatsoever. Chess.com as well is sponsoring some of the entry fee for the open section. So we're trying to really reduce the barrier of entry for any collegiate teams to participate, and at the same time give college students more value by attending the event. Like the thing that we have seen pretty much like throughout the last 10 years of Panams is you get the similar schools, you get the same amount of like 60 teams, and it's tending to be more of an elite event where you get like the scholarship programs. I think more than 60% are over 2,000 rated average teams. And with the work on the Collegiate Chess League as well, it's like totally the opposite. Like we had 230 teams within our first 3 years. Like just 4 times bigger than Panam ever was. From teams worldwide all over the place, like from colleges never even heard of, where I have to look up like where the heck are they located. And they were playing amazing games of chess. And like we had to have divisions, like at least 2 or 3 divisions that are under 1200 average.
That's awesome.
So there's just a lot of engagement that way, and like lots of interest in using chess as a networking with other college students for prestige. Like you're fighting for your university. Like Chess.com sponsored some money on this as well. Like maybe you can get $500 for your club to like put towards traveling to Panams or to put towards a new set of clocks. Like there's a lot of opportunities in the college space that way.
That's awesome. And what I hear it doing is really saying you don't have to be the top chess players to get these benefits, because if you think like a chess player, if you're good at problem solving, it doesn't mean your chess ranking has to be super high, but you've got the kind of skills that are attractive to these companies. So let's make that connection.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Now, before we go further into this, let's step back a second and let's just talk about your background in chess. So when did you learn how to play chess, and what was it like for you in your early days in chess?
Yeah, so I started playing chess probably like start of middle school-ish. We had a club, like I went to school in Germany. We had a club that was organized by a local club as well. Like it was just a local club that sent a teacher basically to the school and organized a club at the school. And that was kind of like the start for me. Like we had some scholastic competitions as well. We drove to states cups. I got like second place in like the like Germany-wide scholastic tournaments as well with my team back then. I went to like European international tournaments as well. Like I took a train to Vienna, played in like a 4 or 5 day tournament. And at some point, basically, I realized like I got to a like 2000, 2100 rating. The time I needed to put into it was basically not longer available. Like with me going to college, like having a job and so on. So I started more of focusing on like what can I use chess for, like using for my own career or using for networking, supporting the communities around me. So like after graduating college in Germany, like I went to University of Oklahoma, did my master's there, started the club there, and then it just, as I said, like went through university club, corporate club. Yeah, 5.5 years leading of Amazon Chess Club at this point. It's crazy. Like we started with like 80 people in Seattle, where we played like weekly games over the board. That then evolved over some Amazon versus Microsoft rivalry match that we had, to some like corporate events where we invited like Google, Facebook. We had them all in Seattle, and then pandemic hit. And to be honest, like the pandemic was like a growth for us as well, because we had so much growth like globally from the Amazon Chess Club as well. So like within 5 years of 5.5 years growing from 80 to 1,300, like it was not something I really planned, but I'm glad that it happened that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you've mentioned, right, you did not achieve the master level in chess, but you were what's considered a candidate master. That alone is still quite high up in chess skill compared to what majority of chess players, right, are. So do you mind saying what was key to your making even that level of achievement, you know, scoring well in Germany, candidate master level? Can you share just a little bit, let's say for audience members who might go, hey, what does it take to get to even that level?
I think, so I did some level of chess coaching as well. Like when I was in Oklahoma, I did some scholastic coaching and some summer camps and so on. And I feel like the message is always the same. It doesn't matter even which level. And it's always have a plan. Like don't waste your move. And it's like, it's kind of like a life motto. You can take this on the corporate side as well. You can take this so many different places, but having a plan, working towards something is always going to give you direction. It's basically make sure that you're not wasting the time. Like if you think about chess in a way of like every move is an investment into your position. You don't want to waste your investment. Like you want to figure out what is the best thing. And making sure that you always have a plan is like the number one goal you should always think when you like play a game of chess.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Having some like easy achievable plans, like, hey, what is my worst piece? How can I improve my worst piece? Like it's something that is always applicable. Like what is the worst thing I can like, or what is the easiest thing I can do right now to improve my position? You don't need to have the like top level of, hey, I calculate 20 moves ahead and like figure out what is my best plan to attack here kind of thing. Like you can do this on a very like easy level of like, what is my worst piece, or what is the easiest way of where are my pawns pointing, where should I attack, where should I develop pieces. So yeah, like rule number one for me, always have a plan.
That's awesome. And what a direct parallel, like you said, to life. Right? If you want to go somewhere in life, make sure you've got a plan, and that every step you're moving in line with that plan, that you're making some element of progress towards it. That's really cool. So besides the many better known benefits of chess, what are one or two that you see that might not be as well known of benefits of actually learning the game that are transferable skills?
The thinking ahead for sure. Like working backwards from a goal as well. Like, I mean, if you go like just Google Amazon leadership principles, like there's a, like, I think first or second is like working backwards, which is similar to always have a plan of like have a goal in mind and work from there. Like if you have a plan in chess, like, I mean, it's very realistic. Like, hey, I want to like checkmate here, or I want to attack on that side. Working backwards of like, how do I actually like achieve this? Like, what do I need to do in order to get there? Is something that is very much like happening in every chess game. That is a trait that is like you will do in your everyday job at Amazon as well. So that's definitely one of the highest things I would say, like you would get out of chess.
Yep. And there you go. For those who are maybe newer to chess, there's your tip of the day for improving your chess game. Don't just think about the moves in front of you. Make sure you think about what you want to achieve and then figure it out backwards. And in doing so, you're starting to incorporate Amazon's corporate philosophy. There we go. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. So do you mind sharing what's one of your highlight chess memories? And of course you mentioned doing well in Germany, but let's see what comes to mind is like, hey, that's one of my best chess memories.
Um, I would say like there are two big milestones events. Like one is like working toward like in college, like working toward for 2 years, going to Pan Am's. Like it was the first time any University of Oklahoma like participated in Pan Am's. Like I got to play Eric Rosen, who played I think back then on the Webster C team. So like I mean our team was nowhere near for participating for like competing for any prizes. But it was just a huge experience for us. Like going to Pan Am's, like playing in a tournament with all those players,
Yep.
making the connections. I still have some players like I'm connecting to like from back then. So that was definitely a great experience. And then the second like big milestone event I think was the first corporate event we hosted in Seattle, because we
Yep.
had like people from so many different companies, and it created an awesome opportunity to just like network that way. Like I know like if I need somebody at Google, Facebook, Microsoft, like I just
Yep.
know where to go because like I played against somebody from those companies.
Right.
And it was just an awesome experience of like all those different members coming out and playing just casual game of chess. And
Yeah.
I know Microsoft is really good in rubbing it in, and so bragging rights is a big thing in corporate chess because I mean there are no prizes otherwise. So like beating Microsoft events is always feel good, although it doesn't unfortunately happen that often.
A little bit of rivalry there, right?
For
And
sure.
you actually touch on even another aspect of chess that I've seen, and I'm glad you mentioned it here, which is chess bridging so many differing areas that may otherwise not connect, right?
Yep.
Languages, cultures, companies, these groups building bridges. And what an awesome thing for our world today to have more of those bridges and connections built as opposed to silos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very cool. And that's, of course, part of what Chess4Life is all about is mindsets of success and life skills through the game. And we say things like better together, right? Where you've got a team of pieces and individuals with unique talents. We don't want everybody the same. We want everybody with their unique skills working together in order to make it better. So that's really cool touching base on this. Do you have a chess game that you played that is a favorite memory that you would care to share with our audience and perhaps post later on?
As I said, like I don't play that much anymore. I
Yep.
think the last huge tournament besides like Pan Am's, my last huge tournament in Europe was a tournament I played in Vienna, as I mentioned, which was the like peak performance I ever had. I think I had like 2150 like per
Awesome.
tournament rating that event. And I think it's less of a specific game and more like the experience, because
Got it.
that was just an awesome event. Like I stayed with a friend, like just crashing on a couch basically and just playing in this awesome event. So yeah, that was pretty cool experience.
That's awesome. So I've got just a few more questions I'd love to touch base on. And also one of them being, would you be up to a speed chess challenge with me?
Yeah, I would happy to.
Chess player, why not, right? And so we'll have fun with that. We'll switch to that shortly here. Just a couple more questions though. But you've already mentioned the bucket list item coming up in January. What's a big accomplishment in life that you want to achieve sometime in the next 10 years?
Ooh, that's a big one. I mean, as you mentioned as well, I mentioned like I have a daughter. So focusing on her is going to be a big priority of my life. Like she's toddler right now, so life is crazy. I don't know, like 10 years from now, like I really hope that we have a better global corporate community for chess. Like everything right now is still in a baby steps, still very siloed. We have corporate leagues in New York, in Seattle, in Chicago Industrial League has been around forever. St. Louis is starting as well. Like there's a corporate league in Charlotte. Just making sure that those communities are growing together and stronger. I think if that happens in the next 10 years and I can help with that, like that would be a huge item for me.
That's awesome. So what I'm hearing you say is you're playing that aspect of your goals in life like the chess game, right? Where sometimes all you need to do is say, what's the one piece I need to improve here? And what's the next step towards that broader, more generalized vision of college and corporate chess connecting together?
Yeah. That's exactly, like, I'm looking at like what are the online leagues that we can like organize in terms of like reducing entry barriers, because I mean in office visits or in office tournaments are not a thing right now with COVID restrictions in office buildings. Making sure that all those leagues have an outlet of like Chicago Industrial League has been around, as I said, like for ages at this point, and they're struggling right now due to COVID of like, hey, we can't meet in person because no company is allowing us to meet in person. So what is our outlet to grow the league and make sure that there's a continued interest that way?
Yeah.
Having a large in-person event as well with the Pan Ams coming up, making sure that UCF and FIDE are supporting this as well, like putting this on the agenda of people where it's less about the tournaments, it's more about the agenda and driving in those communities. So yeah, like as I said, like working backwards from the goal of making sure that those communities are growing and getting better together, and then seeing where I can help influence that we get that way.
Yeah, awesome. So then we've spent some time talking a lot actually about the college corporate chess connection. You alluded to the scholastic scene, which of course Chess4Life focuses a lot of time and resources there to bring the benefits of chess to preschool, to Head Start, to elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and such. What would be, in your view, like a dream outcome of chess in education?
I think generally just seeing the value of chess in education. As I said, like once you graduate from high school, there's this break. There, I think it's definitely an objective for college institutions to see a value in chess and reaching out to students that way of like, hey, we have those awesome high school students who are awesome problem solvers. Maybe those are the next students I want to have in my program because they're gonna like drive my program further. So that's definitely like one thing I hope will happen rather sooner than later. Like if you look into like the Armenian, Russian, Ukrainian like area, like chess is just as part of the curriculum. Because it just drives like problem solving, it drives so many different skills as we talked about. And I think they are a step further in that, where they recognize the value, where connections through chess are just easier to execute on. In the last college chess league, we had teams from Lviv, we had teams from Armenia, and it's just, I think, easier for them to like get that way. Like they have chess programs involved at their schools, and if I look at the US schools, we have like a handful, maybe a little bit more of scholarship programs. Everything else is like in baby steps. Everything else is either student organized or like a varsity club. Some universities now offer it as like an esports program. Chess.com is driving a lot as well on that. So I think there's a lot of growth that the college and the like scholastic scene can basically go through and like recognize each other as a value asset. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time for that. So one final question before we play a fun chess match. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give your younger self, let's say 10 years ago?
Don't take it too seriously. Just have fun and make sure that you utilize what you're given with chess. Just don't focus on like, okay, what is my next 50 rating points I can get? More about like, what is the next awesome opponent I can play? More about, hey, is there a chess club I'm not connected to? Like maybe there are awesome people I can network with, especially when it comes to like the high school area. Like, hey, like, do I know players in universities ABC that I'm interested in going? Like, maybe I can play a game with them and they can talk about the experience at the university, or vice versa. Like once you're a college player, do I know a chess player at company like XYZ, and like see if I can play a game with them to talk about the company culture. Yeah, like just use chess as a vehicle, not as a I need to get my next 20 to 50 rating points.
Nice. That's awesome. So again, chess applied to life, not just for the sake of chess. So that's wonderful, Florian. And for those listening, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel in order to not miss out on many of the exciting conversations about chess transforming lives and impacting communities around the world. And now we're going to move to a speed chess game. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can record that. And you never know what's going to happen, but it gives me the chance to play some fun people from around the world. And at the same time, we can apply, win, draw, or learn, right? Every game is a chance to learn. No fear of losing, because if we lose a game, hey, we had a chance in order to learn from it. So here we go. I believe the game is started. Oh, looks like I got the light pieces. I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, this is going to be rough.
So for those of you watching, and sometimes it's hard to talk while playing because of the focus I like to have. Some people are really good at that. Me, I prefer to, focus in on my moves. Here I try to do both. So I suppose that probably affects my, chess skill in this in this game. But it's always fun to play. And I love meeting people from around the world, even right here, the fact that Florian and I are able to play this chess game. And he was born in Germany and I was born in the US. We met, he worked at Amazon. I run a chess educational organization. It's pretty cool, the connections. And like you mentioned, a memory of, meeting Eric Rosen, who's an amazing chess streamer and chess player. I remember those kinds of experiences, meeting Garry Kasparov, world chess champion, and many others. And so it's pretty incredible, the possibilities of using chess as a vehicle to make new friends, social connections, growth. Yeah. So with that, I'm trying to focus here too.
I don't think you need to focus that deep into this position. How do I go forward from here?
And if somebody's watching this who's not played in chess at all, what we're doing here is we're playing a game that is 3 minutes per side, and every move you make, you get 2 additional seconds added to your timer. So what that means is I make a move, you'll notice my time goes up by 2 seconds. However, whoever goes down to 0 automatically loses the whole game. So really key, essential that we move quickly enough that we don't run out of time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Seeing that you're up a minute already on the clock.
Did not intend that to be a reminder for you to move quicker.
That kind of worked that way. Yeah, I guess this is a good position to figure out what is my next move here. What is my plan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is unfortunate. This is turning out not to be great.
I'm feeling comfortable in my position.
Yeah, I can see that. And time is
always a factor.
It's always a factor, yeah. This is I'm running out of time here. Yeah, no, it will get rough. Trading all the pieces 1 year better. Yeah, that's definitely a good plan. That is not ideal. Nope.
Time. Well, thank you, Florian, for playing, and that was a fascinating game. Kind of got a squeeze there in the position, and then some tactics started happening, right?
Yep.
Not a whole lot of time there. But once again, everyone, thank you for joining me, and thank you, Florian, for joining the Chess4Life Spotlight. Greatly appreciate that. Remember, everybody, like, subscribe, and follow. And Florian, is there somewhere where people can follow the work you're doing? Is there a website or such? And we'll be sure to put those in comments also.
Yeah, definitely. You can follow me on LinkedIn as well.
Perfect.
And if you're looking into the corporate space as well, definitely check out the Corporate Esports Association. So yeah, we will put the link in the description. We can put the link as well in there for the Pan Ams, for the college chess leagues. And yeah, if worse comes to worse, if you don't know where to go, just hit me up on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to direct you wherever you need to go.
That's awesome. We will be sure to post all those links. And for any college students or others who may or may not be chess players currently, you know what you can do, right? Play chess, build the skills, and reach out to Florian.
Yep.
So thank you again for joining.
You're welcome.